survive poisoned productions.
Dear esteemed guest, we would like to invite you to the very exclusive Halloween haunting. October 31st, Deadlands, 10 p.m. Invite only.
Okay guys, so I'm going to cover my eyebrows and put on a bald cap off camera. I have a specific video that teaches you just how to do that, and I will link it on the screen. I'm now just taking a white eyeliner and mapping out where I want the mouth to go and like the main big stripes, just so I have an idea of where not to put the blue, because putting face paints over face paints can cause them to mesh together and create gross colors. Now I'm just adding liquid latex all around that white outline of the mouth, and then putting cotton balls over that outline, putting more latex over the cotton balls, and then putting more cotton balls on top of cotton balls with latex, and just repeating that step until it's as thick as I want it. I would have even gone thicker around the nose if I did it again, just so that the nose looks like it's more sunken into the face, but trust me, it takes a lot of cotton balls. You need patience for the mouth. And make sure everything is completely dry before you start painting on it. Also, I would do this black mouth part last, as I do splatter paint on myself later, which gets on the mouth and I have to repaint it anyways, so maybe save the dark parts for last. Now I'm just going over and painting my mouth, because I am going to put teeth over top and I don't want to have to go in with a small brush and paint between the teeth, so I'm just doing it now. Like I said, I am darkening the mouth, but you should just all do this at the end, because when you splatter paint it gets everywhere. Now I'm just putting the toothpicks on with some spirit gum and then laying more liquid latex and cotton over them just so that they blend into the mouth better. And then once that dries, I paint it. And like I said, if you would sink the nose in a bit more, you could do teeth all the way around your nose, but when I put them on my nose, they stuck out weird because I didn't make the mouth part thick enough. So that's just personal preference. If you don't want to wait, you can do what I did and just put 2 teeth on the side of the nose. I still think it looks cool. Now I'm just going in and filling in all the parts that I want to be this main blue color, trying to avoid the spots where I want the stripes and stuff, just so it's easier to cover it later. Now I'm going in with a light green color and creating these stripes. And then once that dries, I do go over them again just to make sure that they're a little bit more opaque. I find with the lighter colors and face paints, you kind of have to go over them a couple times just so that they're as bright as you want them. And then I also go down my neck with that color too for the stripy bits. Now I'm going in with this light yellow face paint, and I put spots everywhere. I put the bigger ones more focusing on the face and then getting smaller as they go back towards my head. And I do the same thing. I go over these when they're dry just to make them a bit more opaque. And I do take the yellow circles all over later, but we'll get to that. Now I'm just taking a dark navy and blurring out the green of those lines. I didn't want them to be as sharp as they were. I wanted them to be kind of like faded in and look a little bit more natural. I think I went in with a dark navy and a black eventually just to make sure that they were really blended and smoky. The fluffier the brush, the better. It's going to make it easier to blend all these lines. Now I'm going in with a really small brush and that green again and just pointing the ends of our stripes just to make them look a bit more natural rather than just stopping at a square. I thought that was kind of awkward. And now I'm going in and I'm putting yellow dots everywhere. I put them over my neck too in the blue spots and just different shapes and sizes, focusing the bigger ones to the front of my face. Now it looks like I've done a lot, but really I just painted my shoulders blue and continued with that yellow pattern of the spots. That's all I've done so far. Now here's where the spattering comes in. Like I told you, I do it with a white face paint. I think this is a really easy and fast way to break up color and get a lot of texture on your makeup really quick. I love splattering. I love it. And then I also go in with the light green color again. You can do whatever colors basically you want just to break it up. And then I do go back in with the navy and do the same thing. Now I'm taking an orange color and adding even more smaller spots, and I also do the same thing with a pink, and I put them all over. I put them down the stripes, down my neck, I put them absolutely everywhere, just to add a bit more color and dimension. The more spots and colors and stripes, the more realistic it's gonna look, because realistic things have a lot of pattern in them. As you can see with the pink and the orange, it just gives it a bunch of texture and really makes it very colorful and bright. I really like how all of this is turning out. It's one of my favorite looks. Now I also do make these fins for the side of the face using like cupcake papers, you know, those little like ruffled papers that you make cupcakes in, those things, and some toothpicks. I didn't really like how this turned out. They don't match the face completely, but basically I glued the toothpicks on, folded the papers in half, and painted them and stuck them to my head with some glue. Yeah, not my favorite. When I find a better way to make fins, I will let you guys know, but I'm sure you guys can figure out what I did here. It's not that difficult, but it wasn't that great of an outcome, so I didn't really want to show you guys it because I wasn't 100% pleased with it. You know what I'm saying. Now I'm just taking a black face paint and going in the middle of all those green lines just to add a bit more like depth in it, look like it's kind of sunken in the middle. And again, the more patterns, the more textures, the more lines you do, the cooler it's gonna look. It's just gonna look like more of a cohesive piece rather than something that you painted, you know, in some spots and not in others. And just so you know, this is a super cheap bald cap, which is why it's giving me like cone head. But, you know, whatever works. Now I'm going in with a navy and a black eyeshadow and just darkening up around my eyes. If it was to do this again, I would probably actually just bring the spot pattern down onto the eyes rather than making them dark sockets. I think it would just look better, but I'm still like quite pleased with how this turned out. I just would do it slightly differently next time. And then I just added a bit of gelatin to my teeth, and I do have other tutorials where I show you how I'm using it, but there are a lot of tutorials already on how to make it and how to use it, so I didn't think it was completely necessary to show it in this look, just to keep the video a bit shorter. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this look.